Uh, First of all, welcome this morning. Super excited to have this live chat with my co-founder Vojta today, who's our head of R&D and main AI guy in the building for Meiro, both internally and as well as in product. I think I don't know many people who spend more time with AI tools right now on a daily basis than him. I suspect that he hasn't written a single line of code himself in last few months, and he will tell us more about it today. So we have a very cool session. Guys, just a few technicals before we kick off today properly. There's a chat and there's a questions ability to ask Q&A. So please put your questions in there. We'll pick them up in the second part of the session. So please use the Q&A or use the chat. I'll see it and I'll pick it up from there. Well, what we are going to show you today is how at Meiro we are thinking about AI, how we are integrating it into the product, and how we think our customers and our partners should be thinking about working with it. Where is the potential? We're in the very beginning of this journey, and it's really exciting the progress we already see. And I hope we will be able to show you something very, very cool today. Most of the webinar this morning will be demo, so we'll have just a couple of slides to show you kind of our vision and how do we think about AI. Wait, if I can have next page. Just to kind of set the theme for this, right? So how do we think about AI, and where does customer data platform like Meiro play in that? So we really think that first of all, AI is a set of tools that is allowing us to empower users of the product to do more with less, which is I think where the most succinct summary I can come up with. And I think the AI is just another layer of tools, layer of software that is going to help us simplify, more democratize access to technology. We think about it in a few different ways. If I can have a next page, please. We think about it in a few different pillars. So first, as a customer data platform, we think that really data is more valuable than the AI itself. You can have the fanciest algorithms, you can have the best access to the best models, but so do your competitors. So really, the models you use is not going to be differentiating the business that you operate, right? It's the differentiation is going to come from data, how rich it is, how organized it is, and I think where customer data platforms came around, some 7 years ago, as a category. This was all about empowering either ad buying, advertisement, media operations, or it was powering marketing automation use cases, which is absolutely the right kind of fundament. We have seen and we continue seeing customers with so many use cases and really good return on investment in these projects, and that's really the good foundation. But ultimately, CDP becomes a data repository of really structured and very detailed granular customer profiles and customer data that's completely structured and very clean, and that becomes the ideal foundation for any type of algorithmic work on top of that. So we really think fundamentally this is about data. It's not so much about the algorithms, and we'll demonstrate that. Second, we think about a couple of different ways to use AI in the product. We think about empowering users, and that we'll be spending most of the time today. So how are we incorporating AI into the UI of the product, into CDP itself, and how do we let customers and enterprises work with that in a couple different ways? Then second, we think about better personalization. So using algorithms, using large language models to help with contextualizing content for customers, whether that's product recommendations or whether that's content they can consume, and very importantly, being privacy first CDP, being really focused on private deployments and having presence across all major hyperscaler clouds. Also on-premise customers in a number of different countries around the world. We really think it's important to kind of keep things in-house, and we do have the same approach for AI. So we have ability to kind of bring and embed your own models that you are licensing separately from CDP, so you make sure the data always stays in circulations of your infrastructure and where that goes, and it doesn't go anywhere else where it shouldn't be going. Last kind of a if I can have a next page with the last kind of common or how we're going to be talking about it today is we are going to introduce the AI agents in CDP and how do we think about them. We're going to talk to you about the algorithms themselves. How do we control them? How do we focus on privacy, on security? And we are going to be sharing something very, very new to us, which is a MCP model context protocol server. We'll show you how that works in context of Meiro and how you could use external tools to CDP your own home built or house built agents that your company runs to interact with CDP and kind of connect this with the broader universe of your enterprise architecture, MarTech stack, and AI agents. So with that, Vojto, let me hand it over to you. I'll be coming and making some comments, but I think this will be mostly on you. So let's start with the agents.
Certainly. Thank you for the nice introduction, and let me dive right into it. So over the last, I think, 6 months, we spent a lot of time researching the models, and they got better over this last 6 months. And we spent quite a lot of time on designing the context for the agents, right? So when you log in into your instance of CDP and with a presumption that you already have the AI enabled for you, you will be presented on the homepage with a new chat interface. So this is a first interface that we are building, and it's not the only one. We have some more news in the pipeline, but you are presented with basically a daily summary of your most important insights from your CDP instance. So when we were building context of those agents, we basically thought about the segments, the insights we already have in them, and we were able to go through all your segments. So whenever you have a segment and you have some defined, and then we took a look at all the segments, their rules, and their insights, information about the segments. And we basically fed it into the agent. So suddenly your agent can look through for patterns in your data in the segments, and it can make a connections. So you will be presented with important insights and also some recommendations that you can work on in your instance. So you can also consult with the agents on what to do next, what are the good ideas, and so on. So let's maybe dive into what it can do basically. So I can really ask it, what can you do in this instance? On the backend, I will be talking a little bit about how it works. So you have the idea. On the backend, we have a list of basically a team of agents that are able to do quite a lot of different things in it. So the agent presents itself and it can answer any questions and it can manage parts of the instance. The list of the tools at its disposal will grow over time. So right now we are focusing on working with the events, with the attributes, with the segments, with the funnels, and with the pop-up buttons. So this is like the basic building blocks of the CDP instance, the most important ones, and it can basically work with that. So first, let's maybe try to look for a customer with some email, right? So this is useful when you want to find someone and get some summary about a customer to see if you have information about them. And you can see that I already got a free customers with the email Karel Hope at Meiro. So it's matching multiple of them. And after I find those customers, I can ask the agent to actually get me more details. So you can focus on the first one you found and show me more details. And I will be presented with more details about this customer. So on the backend, we are basically using currently for most of our clients Gemini 2.0 Flash, which is a great balance between cost, speed, and smartness of the model. And we packed it with a different tool. So you can see that currently I have at my disposal all the details about the customer, all the attributes, and I can basically interrogate the data about the customer and let it summarize what it knows about the customers. So this is all nice. This is cool. But maybe let's do something more useful, right? You can see that we have basically the user who's bought hoodie. What if I want to create a new segment, right? I told you about the agent having access to the tools that are able to list the segments, create them, and also get some details about it. On the backend, when I ask this agent to create the segment, it will first list the attributes and it will take a look at the attributes themselves, then select the proper one, and then create the rules for you. So you see that the agent actually created a new segment for me, and it's called customers who viewed hoodies pages in last 180 days. And let's maybe check the segment. It looks good. URL contains hoodie and it's been viewed in the last 180 days. So this is great start. So right now we have a segment by just asking the agent to create one. And the latest addition that we actually did is to help you with with helping with creating a new pop-up banners, right? So I can now ask the agent to create a pop-up banner for this segment. For this segment, it's referencing the one that it just created, right? So it has a contextual awareness of the chat session, and it should have some call to action, join our newsletter, and the design of the banner should be inspired by a different banner. So it can actually list other banners, take a look at the details and the HTML content of the banner, and it can also set the conditions. So I want to only show it to the desktop devices and only if the URL contains a block. So let's check it. And yeah, so it correctly created the conditions. So on the desktop, page URL contains the block. And let's see, this is our banner. So this is able to create the banners. You can ask it to create any kind of banner with different designs, and it will basically do it for you. From there, you can go to the banner and modify its frequency cap and so on. So this is getting the banners, but we don't know much about the segment itself that we created. So maybe let's get more insights on the segment you created earlier, right? Referencing the segment for the customers who viewed the hoodie pages in the last 180 days. So right now it will take the ID of the segment and it will get the insights about this segment, and you can see how powerful it is right now. So it went through all the insights in the segment and how large it is, the conditions explained in the natural language, and then also the key insights. It's telling me that 97% are in the lost RFM group. We see the total spend, the average views, and you can continue the chat with the agent, and you can interrogate it. You can ask it to actually dive deeper into the insights and basically talk about it, about what it thinks. So maybe what if I really want to get even more insights about this segment? So we actually gave the agent a possibility to look at the funnels that you have in the instance. So it can look at the funnels, again, referencing the segment you created earlier. And for the last 90 days, I'm asking what is the biggest drop in the funnel? And of course, um, sometimes it happens. Something that was working yesterday is not working today, but yesterday it was working. And of course, sometimes it happens because sometimes the LLM models are a little bit temperamental. So we'll be looking later at this, but it's able to read the data for the funnels. Maybe if I ask it, get me purchase funnels for last 90 days, and it can get me, this is unscripted, of course, running in real time, and it's not, yeah, we'll check on it. Something that was working on my computer, as we say in IT, suddenly it's not. So yeah, we're looking at it, but it's able to analyze the purchase funnels. So this is basically the AI marketing consultant. Apart from this, we have also a data consultant, right? So this is a consultant that is able to help you with the attributes, with the events, and with setup of your instance on how to configure it.
Wait,
Yeah.
let me jump in for a second here, right? So I think what I maybe would like to emphasize for everyone listening today or everyone watching this later is that we really understand and recognize that there's people with few different roles who are typically using CDP and logging in, right? We see this, and we have anyone from data analyst, data engineer, data scientist using CDP all the way to marketers who are campaign managers who are building audiences, who are building web personalization banners, who are building email templates and publishing customer journeys. So we are kind of the strategy that we have here is to create effectively a virtual team of assistants that are geared for a specific job to support individual roles. So there will be the marketing assistant that you saw, who is obviously able to look up the data, able to interpret, and you can converse with him about profiles, about segments, understand kind of highlights of each segment. That's really useful. I think the creation of segments is already useful. So that's truly the agentic ability that it can go and do something. So creating segments is for some people still more technical discipline, even though we do it through visual interface, and as data people can think that this is something that's super easy. Not for everyone, not for more creatively minded people. And this interface where they will just be able to say what they want is obviously simplifying that a lot. So we kind of want to transmit this mindset into the rest of the product. So creating segments, creating reports, eventually creating dashboards on the fly, having context of what's happening on the page, and creating campaigns all the way through, suggesting multi-step journeys for optimize towards a specific goal. The ultimate idea, you tell it what you want to do. So you want to sell more hoodies, and it would build you a segment for people who it thinks should be interested in hoodie. It will create visual for a campaign for a specific touch point that it's also going to tell you what to do, and you will be able to launch it in a matter of minutes. So kind of simplifying that workflow. Now we're going to hop into more data-oriented part, where again slightly different team role typically enters here. So this is more data analyst, data engineer, and again there is a capability specifically for them to work with CDP easier, to kind of make the setup faster, and again we'll be kind of broadening this capability. This is super exciting because when I kind of look at what a journey it has been building a CDP and kind of the breadth of the software that we have at this point, it's every feature becomes a really difficult conversation, right? It has to be designed, has to work with everything else. While when we see something as a, adding a capability into the LLM as a capability that you will be able to prompt here, the speed of developing that is so much faster. So this is really accelerating the capability that we are developing. So this is really really exciting. Thank you, Ines. I'm glad that you like it. And so with that, let's kind of go into the second part, which is the what we call a data consultant. We probably have to have a better names for this virtual team. But right now we are kind of in data and strategy bucket of things, and it's a different agent that will help you with different things. So Wojtov, you will give us more detail. Yes, question on MCP. Yes, it is available, and we will show it in about 10 minutes. So just bear with us for a little bit.
Amazing. So the data consultant is actually focused on working with your events and your attributes. So it has a context of the events that you have in the instance, and also examples of the events with the payloads and the context of the attributes and how they are defined. And you can actually get some important attribute suggestions you can build next, and it can actually guide you through the implementation. So when I say it can guide you through the implementation, I mean that the agent has actually a context of the whole documentation of Meiro CDP that we have. So whatever you see in DocsMail, all the 6 books that we currently have, all the content of those books, and they are available as a RAC database, vector database for those interested in technical details, and it can look up the documentation and guide you through it. So from yesterday, I have here a simple example of maybe a different take on the segments. So if you are working with the segments and you want to list the segments based on the conditions, which are using attributes about the devices, it can basically go through the segments, take a look at the attributes and how they are defined, select those that are focused on the devices, and then basically cross-check your segments with those device attributes. So we can play with that, ask different things, and it can basically answer you, and you can basically get a better idea and navigate your segments, how they are defined, and what they are about. So maybe let's test the documentation itself, and maybe for a person newer to the CDP instance, maybe they have troubles with understanding what is the difference between normal attribute and compound attribute. So on the background, the agent actually analyzes the question, brings up the relevant parts of the documentation, and it will actually explain to you what is the difference. Maybe try a difference and maybe ask it something a little bit more advanced. What is a little bit more nuanced, let's say, what is the difference between the Facebook audience loader and Facebook anonymous audience loader? So those are like very close, a little bit different. So it's basically looking through the documentation and analyzing. We have a lot of documentation, so it's crunching through the data, and it can explain what is the difference here. So we can see that the audience loader can upload the data such as name, email, or phone number, but the anonymous audience loader is focused on the client IDs from the Facebook for retargeting, and you can read the distinctions. So whatever Your question is about the documentation. Let's try maybe one more, because this is like the usual thing that the clients are asking. How can I check that Meiro Events SDK is correctly deployed on the website? So this is like a very common question and a big pain point. So if you ask it, it will give you a step-by-step information on how to actually go to the browser, open the developer tools, and navigate to the network tab and check that all the events are sent to your CDP instance. You can ask it anything about not only the CDP itself, but also Meiro integrations, Meiro events, and all the information from there. So this is the AI data consultant, and which is very helpful in advising you on the implementation, working with the attributes, events, segments, and more. Pablo? So this is from my side. If I sum it up a little bit, then we have the Meiro marketing consultant, which is able to go through the segments and insights. It can list the segments, check the conditions, create a new segment, get some more detailed insights into the segments. It can find and analyze different customers. It can list the banners. It can create a new banners and analyze them, and also get more insights for the segments, as I said. And once they are not so temperamental, also analyze the funnels. And in the AI data consultant, you can analyze the attributes, events, and also get more insights into the segments, and use the whole complete documentation of the insights to help you analyze and create new attributes, help you with the implementation of Meiro integrations, Meiro events, and so on. Probably you are muted.
Sorry. Thank you, Waito. I'm looking at the questions. I think we've answered them directly or indirectly already. There's a question or a suggestion whether the ability of the assistant to read events and suggest attributes. I think that was demonstrated. So this is really the core of the analyst AI assistant. Question also about availability. So we are effectively in early beta with customers where this is manually enabled. There is a little legality if we are to be processing your data from your instances with the general Gemini that we run. So we have to get legal paperwork done right for that, for the pilot, at least for now. It will naturally become part of the terms and conditions of the product ongoing going forward. So this is not generally available to everyone. This is currently in a we can call it a private beta, where we have development and testing customers piloting this in the first days. Pretty much, we're kicking it off with this demo today. So if you are interested, do let us know, or contact me, or your account manager will help to set up the paperwork, and we'll deploy this on your own instance. If you are in a GCP, like some of the people asking this question, I think we would be able to also switch the token and account in your Gemini to your own model. So this data should still be processing and staying in your own Google Cloud instance. So that's easy. So talk to us, please. And there's one more question about MCP that we'll be showing now. One other question: can the AI data consultant identify, maybe solve identity stitching mistakes, such as a list of probably not properly stitched profiles, suggesting on how to solve the mistake, or just solve it for us? So this is a great use case. I think we will be looking into it. Again, it can understand context of data, so ability to look over the profiles and point out where the connection point is in the kind of a profiles that creates the large entities that are incorrectly stitched together should be doable. We already have this on the longer list of things we would like the agents to be able to do kind of autonomously and check on periodical basis with proper rollout and proper UI. I think we will be able to be at this soon. So great question. Wojto,
So
s-
a few comments from the technical side of the things. So first, currently we do support Gemini as our model of choice because it has a great control over the privacy. It's a good cost and benefit basically for the model. So it's not overly expensive, and at the same time, it's fast and smart enough to actually support the agentic workflows. So, but at the same time, we do understand that customers would like to bring their own keys to the Gemini or bring their own models. So currently we do support all the big labs. So Anthropic, AWS Bedrock, OpenAI, and Google, and we will be adding more models. There is basically a lower threshold of the capabilities of the model. So it needs to have a tool calling, and it needs to be basically trained for agentic use cases. But apart from that, we are able to support bring your own model and bring your own key. In the terms of another features, like the features, the tools that we are enhancing the agent with, they are growing over time. When we started, we only had basically the ability to analyze the aggregated data, and over time we were adding new tools, and this continues. So every few days we are adding new tools, and we need to basically test everything that has been done until this point, that it works correctly. Because if you put too much of the tools and capabilities into the model without a proper testing and proper system prompt, then it can get quite confused and it would do things you don't want it to do. At the same time, so we are adding the tools and capabilities gradually, but we are adding them quite fast. Every few days, there is a new tool that the agent can use. At the same time, we are currently staying away from all the tools that are able to modify or delete the entities, right? So currently, I showed you that you can create a new segment and you can create a new pop-up banner. However, you cannot edit the segment yet, and you cannot edit the banner yet. And it's important because we want to be on the safe side of the development. Because I don't know if you heard, but just a few days ago, Replit, a vibe coding platform, basically, the agent, even though it was in the code freeze, it deleted production database, right? So even if you are trying to test everything, a big company like Replit can't cover everything, and the agent can go haywire. It can go like against the wishes of the human, and it can do some serious damage. So right now, for security and safe reasons, we are only allowing the agent to create new entities in order to prevent the agent basically changing your production segments and so on. So this is the development. We will be adding new tools and capabilities shortly, every few days with great announcements, but we will for now stay away from edit and deletes of those entities to prevent like bad situations. So I'm aware of the time, so let's maybe jump into the MCP because that was requested by multiple clients, and I'm very happy to tell you that the MCP is actually live and usable right now. So what you can see here is
Wojto,
basic, yeah.
and maybe because we have a more general audience on the call today, let's explain it for simple people,
Oh,
as if
sure.
you were explaining to me, okay?
Amazing. Sure. So, whatever you can do in the AI assistant here, you need to do it from the instance itself, right? You go to the CDP and you have this chat interface and you can talk, and you have no control over the tools it has. You have no control over the system prompt it's designed with, and it's very useful. But if you would like to use the tool set of this agent also in your own agent. So for example, if your company has an agent that is already set up with some capabilities, more context into your other parts of the company, if you want to use it from different interface than from the CDP itself, because you have a different context, you have already some workflows inside it, you want to be able to use the same tool set that we currently have inside the product with your own agent. And specifically for this, there is MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. And in the most simple terms, it's like API for AI agents. So over this API, it's literally API, you can actually give the capabilities, the tools that we are using also to your own agent. I have a nice demonstration here. So I have the Claude desktop application here. And I actually configured the Claude to use this MCP server. This looks kind of complicated, but so far there is this is the standard way to set up the MCP servers for the Claude desktop, and also other things like Cursor, VS Code with some extensions, OpenAI, and other agents, or you can actually give it to any framework like Agno AGI, Pedantic, or any other framework that you might be using to create the AI agents. And with this standardized configuration, where you simply say, I want to have the MCP server called Meiro MCP, you need to provide the command that was launching the MCP. So it's very simply UVX Meiro MCP. You don't have to install anything, and you need to provide the domain and the user and the password to the MCP. Once you do that, I have it configured here in the Claude. You can actually ask it things. So search for customer with email pavel.Gulowski@meiro.io using Meiro MCP. And it's using the tool search customers, and it actually went to the API of the MCP server, and it found the customer with the ID, and it showed me some details, and I can go and do basically whatever you saw in the product itself. You can do from any other client. So minus maybe the system prompt that we have optimized, but the whole tool set that is available to us in the product itself is now available to you in any AI agent that you might be building, or in the cloud desktop, or any other client that is able to use the MCP server. So you can actually just Google for Meiro MCP on the PyPy. There is example configuration. You can install it today and start using against your own instance.
Super. What are the use cases you were thinking about that people could be deploying here? And I would love to also hear from the audience if you have ideas. How would you see people interacting with Claude with MCP this way?
Sorry, is the question for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Claude, it's a nice toy, but the biggest potential for me is basically the context engineering, right? So when you have, for example, a company who is using Meiro CDP to get the data segments and everything, and we do have quite a lot of data about the customers, but we do not have the complete company data, because there are data behind, like apart from customers, data about the products and the stock basically a number of products in your warehouses. There is some financial data about the margins. There is data about your employees. There is data from customer care, which is not connected to the CDP. There is some data warehouse. And if you are building your internal AI agent in the company that your employees can use, plugging in the Meiro CDP using MCP as additional tool set is quite powerful, because suddenly the AI agent can get the data from different MCPs, from your data warehouse, from your ERP, from your CRM, from your accounting, from your stock like warehouse data, and it can combine this data, and you can create some powerful workflows using this. So it's basically all about getting the tools and the data from the CDP into context with some other MCP servers in your own specific, like a system prompt and instructions that you can do.
Super. Thanks, Vojto. Unless there are any questions in chat, which I don't see at the moment, I would probably slowly wrap up because we're just coming up to the top of the hour. So let me summarize a little bit. So currently in the CDP, there's two types of agents. One for marketers that will allow you to discover audiences, build segments, build ad creatives, build the personalization campaign, and we'll be adding more capability there. There is an analyst AI agent, which will help you with implementation questions, has full documentation loaded into it as answer for how to do everything in the CDP, how to suggest attributes out of events, and look at your data in more kind of analytical way. MCP, Model Context Protocol server, available for you to download and start using pretty much today, as simple as that. So if you'd like to have the early access to any of the things that you would see, contact us, let us drop us email, chat to us in the channels where you are connected if you're a customer. If not, obviously happy to have a further chat on this if you'd like to see how this deploys in your environment. With that, Vojto, thank you very much. We'll be sharing the recording. Looking forward to feedback from everyone, and thanks for taking the time today and joining us here. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.